Most people think retirement planning is just about picking the right investments. And that belief alone is why millions of retirees feel anxious, even with large portfolios. Because retirement really isn't about growth, it's about income. And if you don't understand the difference, you could accidentally sabotage the next 30 years of your life. Let me show you what almost nobody explains. I spoke to a gentleman recently. He's 64 years old with over $700,000 that he saved. Very smart, disciplined, did everything right. But he said something that stopped me cold. He said, "Eric, I'm not afraid of dying early. I'm afraid of living too long." Now think about that. He didn't need better stock picks. He needed certainty. And that's when it clicked for him. And maybe it's clicking for you right now too. Retirement planning is not an investment problem. It's a design problem. Here's the first big shift. While you're working, investments are about accumulation. But once that paycheck stops, it becomes about distribution. And those are two completely different games. Most financial advice is built around growing a portfolio. But retirement is about answering three critical questions. How much can I safely withdraw? What happens if the market crashes early? And what if I live until 95? But here's the brutal truth. The market does not care when you retire. If a 20 to 30% downturn hits your first few years of retirement, that can damage or permanently reduce your lifetime income. It's called the sequence of returns risk. Most people have never heard of that term, but it can quietly derail an otherwise perfect plan. Now here's the twist. You don't have to choose between growth and safety. That's a false choice. The real goal is structure, because the biggest threat to retirement isn't volatility, it's longevity. If you retire at 62, you could easily live 30 plus years. That's 3 decades without a paycheck. Social Security alone probably won't cover everything. So the real question becomes, how do you create income that lasts as long as you do? Not income that lasts until the market cooperates. Income that lasts, period. This is where traditional portfolios fall apart. They don't guarantee income. They assume the math will work. And hope is not a strategy. I've seen retirees with over $1 million and they still feel anxious. Not because that they don't have enough, but because they don't know what's safe to spend. They're afraid to enjoy retirement, and that's not freedom. That's financial handcuffs. The most successful retirees I work with aren't chasing the highest returns. They're optimizing for predictability, protection, tax efficiency, lifetime income. And that's because once your working years are over, the goals shift. It's no longer about winning big, it's about not losing big. Let's compare the typical approaches. You've probably heard of the 4% rule. Invest in a diversified portfolio and withdraw 4% of it per year. Well, that sounds simple enough, but there's no guarantee with that. If the market performs poorly early on, you may have to reduce your withdrawals, or worse, outlive your money. It also requires constant monitoring and emotional discipline during downturns. That seems pretty stressful to me. And retirement should reduce stress, not increase it. On the other end, some retirees move everything into CDs or fixed rate products. Yes, they're stable, but inflation quietly erodes purchasing power. A fixed 3 to 4% return may not keep up over a 20 to 30 years of retirement. So now you've eliminated volatility, but introduced erosion. Again, a false choice. Here's where smarter retirement design comes in. There are strategies that allow you to protect your principal from market losses, participate in positive market performance, grow tax deferred, and optionally create guaranteed lifetime income without taking full market risk. Most people don't even realize this structure exists because it's not talked about much on mainstream financial shows. But for the right retiree, it can be transformational, especially in today's environment where top-tier S&P-linked cap rates are often in the 9 to 11% range, meaning you can participate in meaningful growth during strong years, but if the market drops, you don't lose principal. You have protection on the downside and then opportunity on the upside. It's not unlimited upside, but it's intentional, controlled growth, and that balance changes everything. Now let's talk about something equally important, taxes. If most of your retirement money is in tax-deferred accounts, future withdrawals can push you into higher tax brackets. Required minimum distributions can force income you don't even need yet. Retirement design looks at when to withdraw from which accounts and in what order to reduce lifetime tax exposure. Because it's not just about what you earn, it's about what you keep. Now let's zoom out for a moment. Retirement is emotional. You've worked 30, maybe 40 years for this, and the fear of losing it is real. The fear of outliving it is real. And spreadsheets don't eliminate fear, but structure does. When income is predictable, when essential expenses are covered, when your principal is protected, everything changes. You enjoy retirement differently. You spend differently, and you live differently. Retirement planning is not about beating the market. It's about building a system that protects your base, creates reliable income, allows for growth, reduces taxes, and removes guesswork. Investments are just one piece, not the whole picture. If you're between 59.5 and 79, and you have at least $250,000 saved, this is exactly what we designed at Hackenberg Financial Group. It's not product pushing, it's not generic advice, it's customized retirement income structured built around your life. If you want to see how this could apply to you, click the link in the description below. You can watch a short video that walks through how protected income strategies work in more detail, or you can schedule a strategy call and we'll review your current setup together. No pressure, just clarity. Because the difference between having investments and having a retirement plan could determine how the next 30 years of your life feel. And that decision is too important to leave to chance. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.